And a most pleasant good day, everybody. I'm Jewel, and this is J7409 Weather. Boy, we've got some big changes in the weather coming up for much of the northern tier of the nation, with much colder weather and snow on the way. This is the watches and warnings map this morning. You can see winter storm warnings over in Montana. We've got winter storm advisories, watches, and warnings going all the way over into North and South Dakota, parts of Wyoming, and by Saturday, this snow's probably going to be over in Minnesota. I'm going to have all of this and more coming up. Please stay tuned. If you haven't subscribed, I would ask you to please do so. Click the subscribe button, click the bell, and then make sure to check off all, and that way it will ensure that you get all the information I put out about these storms coming up, watches, warnings, all kind of weather that may be affecting you. So thanks so much for watching, and please do remember to subscribe. Now, I'm on the European model this morning. You can see we have a system right here. We have one here. We have one here. I'm going to tell you all about those in full detail. But for the general weather right now, you can see the snow's up in Canada. It's going to be coming down. I'm going to turn this on. The timestamp is at the bottom. Now, big changes, like I said, folks, they are coming to much of the nation through the middle of the week as a pronounced upper level trough is going to drop southward across the western U.S. from Canada. Now, this is going to result in a strong cold front crossing the Intermountain West and reaching the central and northern plains by Thursday morning. Temperatures, they're going to turn sharply colder and be well below normal behind this front. It's going to get very cold, folks, with widespread accumulating snow that's expected across much of Idaho, Montana, Wyoming by sometime today, and it's going to last through Wednesday morning. And then it's going to start reaching the western Dakotas by Wednesday night. Now, winter storm watches and warnings are in effect for a half a foot to a foot of snow, with scattered higher amounts likely. And this snow, as you can see, little parts of it now, by Saturday is going to be over in Wisconsin and Minnesota. Now, for the eastern half of the U.S., we got a cold front extending along the East Coast, and it's going to exit the East Coast at some point today. Now, a rather mild day yesterday, which we had, or I had anyway, is what we had. A little bit of rain here and there, nothing bad, but an area of non-tropical low pressure should gradually develop over the offshore waters of the western Atlantic, and that's going to interact with the advancing cold front, acquiring some characteristics of a nor'easter. That's right. Now, although the highest winds and heaviest rain should remain offshore, pay attention. Locations from New Jersey to eastern Maine will likely have periods of rain for the middle of the week, along with potentially higher tides and normal patches of heavy showers. And storms are also likely for the Florida Peninsula. And then elsewhere across the U.S., sunny to partly cloudy conditions are expected from Texas to the Great Lakes region as the surface high pressure remains in charge. Now, this is all the way across. Folks, I'm going to put this back up to like Saturday right quick. Now, you see we've got snow going on. Cold up here. I'm talking it's going to get a lot colder than you've seen yet. Now, we have a system that's down here. I'm going to show you these systems from the Hurricane Center in a moment. And we have one here. They're going to kind of get together. Now, the wind, you guys, all the way. Now, I'm going to say from Maine, maybe my friends in Canada along Nova Scotia, St. John's Island, you guys at times may, and this is along the coastlines, okay, you might, not saying definitely you will, but you could have some 50-mile-per-hour wind gust at times, I do believe. And the wind's going to get gusty all the way from New Jersey, Long Island, and this is along the coastlines now, Nantucket, parts of Massachusetts on up, the wind is going to get a little gusty as the system moves through. So please be aware, you're going to get some rain, you're going to get some wind. My water from these systems has been high for the last 3 days, so you might want to keep that in mind. If you live along the coastlines, you could have a little bit of flooding going on, so please remember that. Now, when it comes to regular severe weather that may pop up today, it's looking good, folks. This is the categorical outlook. It's less than 2% of tornadoes, 2% or less of bad damaging winds, and 2% or less of hail. However, though, we do have a chance of some scattered thunderstorms that are possible from the southern Appalachians to Florida today, as well as over much of New Mexico, and then later across the southern high plains into parts of Kansas and Oklahoma. A storm or two may produce some very small hail or some gusty winds, but that's primarily over New Mexico. Now, checking out these tropical systems from the National Hurricane Center, we have this one that's popped up just off the coastline of Florida here. Here's the one right here. This is disturbance number 2 that's been making my water really high for the last 3 or 4 days. These two are going to merge more than likely. But we will start out down here right quick to let everybody in Florida know what's happening. This is disturbance number 3. It's just a trough of low pressure right now, and it's extending from the Yucatan Channel northeastward across southern Florida Peninsula. It's got disorganized showers and thunderstorms. A little bit slight development of the system is possible for today when it moves off the southeast U.S. coast. The disturbance is forecast to merge with a low off the east coast of the U.S. by tomorrow, and then no further development is anticipated after that. So you can see it's going to make heavy rainfall over portions of the Florida Peninsula during the next day or so. Formations low 10%, 5 days out. Now, disturbance number 2, these are showers and thunderstorms over the western Atlantic and the southeastern coast of the U.S. and Bermuda. They're associated with a broad, non-tropical area of low pressure. Now, this system is forecast to move northward and northeastward and could acquire some subtropical characteristics off the east coast of the United States in a couple of days. Now, it's going to cause some high seas, just like I was telling you. The water is going to rise. I've been through it for the last several days, folks. I'm just telling you it's going to make the water rise. And you're going to have some gusty winds. But it's going to be rain. That's why they're saying like northeastern. You don't look for no big snowstorm. You're not going to get it. You are going to get some rain, though, and the wind is going to be a little gusty at times, but it's not going to be a tropical storm. It's not going to be a hurricane. It's just going to be a mess. That's what it's going to be. And these winds can be felt along the Outer Banks all the way up to Maine, and later on this week, maybe up in Nova Scotia, St. John's Island, up in these areas, you guys are going to get rain and some gusty winds and probably some erosion along your coastal sections. So I will keep my eyes on this. If anything changes with it, I'll be sure and put it up. But you can go ahead, get right later this week, and by this weekend, everybody up north, you're going to know what's out there. Now, this one, disturbance number 1, it's non-tropical at the moment. It's just a low-pressure system. It's over the central Atlantic between Bermuda and the Azores. Now, it is producing winds to near gale force. Environmental conditions are also forecast to be generally conducive for the low to acquire some subtropical or tropical characteristics during the next day or two, and this system could become a tropical or subtropical storm today or tomorrow while it's moving slowly westward. However, though, don't let that scare you. Upper level winds are expected to become unfavorable for further development by tomorrow night. Now, we're going to have to just watch this, folks, to see what actually happens, okay? It's got a 50% chance 2 days, 5 days, but I think it will turn and maybe miss everybody and go on out to sea. I'll keep my eyes on it, make sure you know what's going on with it. And that's a check of the weather today. It's going to get very, very cold for many. Thanks for watching. Please remember to subscribe, click the bell, and click all. And you know I love you so much, so very much. Have a good day, a safe day, and a blessed day. I thank you for watching my videos and everything you do for me, folks. Peace, love, and kindness to all. Thanks for watching.